We had all 5 of them within the first 5 days of school. So, yes, we did. And we all received 100s. So, to present the first one to Clear Creek Elementary, and I know she couldn't be here tonight, so I've asked Stephanie Burnett to accept it on behalf of Terry, the manager. So y'all are accumulating quite a number. Yes. And second, we've got LJ Elementary, Sandra McClure as the manager, and Cindy Dotson is here as the assistant manager. And representing Mountain View Elementary, we have Miss Valerie Jones, the manager, and Karen Pinson, our assistant manager. They're recommending. And from Clear Creek Middle, we have Miss Teresa Hall. She's the assistant manager here to accept. I'm really worried about Miss Lynn Ringwald because she's on her way and I don't know where she is. So if you don't mind accepting for her, well, she's coming. So I got 100. So congratulations to everyone. All of our students. It happened once last year, and so it's hard.
How often they don't know?
They come twice a year. There she is.
If you look at the restaurants around town, there are not many 100. I'm just saying.
Y'all need to give her a round of applause. And she brought y'all a special treat of something that we are starting to sell this year at the high school in Clear Creek Middle. It is 100% fruit juice, smooth slushies, or she's known. This is sour apple. Yes, it's a very popular one. I don't think we got those.
I bet yours is 100% fruit.
It's 100% fruit juice.
No, I'm talking about all of these flush buckets. You brought it home.
Thank you.
She said those are coming tomorrow. They actually have those on order.
They're really good.
What, the pina colada ones? Yeah. They're coming tomorrow.
Okay.
I have to go back to
Next on our agenda are our consent items, and these items are placed on the board for the board's consideration at our regular monthly meeting on Thursday. Subject to the wishes of the board, we can add or remove items from the consent agenda as needed in preparation for that meeting. And on the consent agenda, we have the minutes from our July 22nd work and executive session and our July 25th regular session. We have some out-of-state overnight field trips, and we have fundraising requests. So please take a look at those, and if there's any changes, let me know before our meeting on Thursday. The first area of our strategic plan, and the first item on our report is academic achievement. And that is the Georgia Milestones Assessment System. At the end of July, the milestones data was no longer embargoed, and so I've asked Ms. Lottie Mitchell, who is our Chief Academic Officer, to present a brief summary and highlight that data.
Good evening. The Georgia Milestones is a comprehensive summative assessment program spanning grades 3 through high school. Students in grades 3 through 8 take an end-of-grade assessment in English, language arts, and mathematics, while students in grades 5 and 8 are also assessed in science and social studies. High school students take an end-of-course assessment for each of the 8 courses designated by the State Board of Education. There are 4 achievement levels. Level 1 is beginning learners, Level 2 is developing learners, Level 3 is proficient, and Level 4 is distinguished learners. And tonight we will be sharing the percentage of students scoring in the developing, proficient, and distinguished, which is levels 2 through 4. Okay. Before we go into a lot of detail about Gilmer's performance, I want to point out that this past year, Gilmer did not participate participate in the retesting. You can retest in language arts in grade 3. In grade 5 and 8, you can retest in the reading and the mathematics. And this year, we will be retesting. We wanted to push our testing dates back as far as possible, so to allow as much instructional time. We're still going to be able to push it back to allow for as much instructional time as possible, but still give students the opportunity to retest, which can improve their scores.
For this year, what she's saying is we will do the retest during post-planning. But we want to push that date back so that our teachers get true instruction leading up to that test, not test early and then start that remediation process. So.
You're looking at the math results. These are the end of grade in grades 3 through 8. And this is a comparison starting back in 2015 when we first started doing the Georgia milestones up until this past year, 2019. And then I've included the state average. So it's always interesting to see how are we performing or how are we performing compared to the state. We always want to be at or above the state average. And we are very pleased in math. If you look at these scores, all except one are above the state average, and the one that's not is so close. So we have those in green and highlighting them. We are really excited at the progress we're making in math and the growth that we're continuing to see. I just want to go back to that.
No, that was a big.
When we look at our ELA results, I did 2 charts. I said that we were going to be looking at the developing, proficient, distinguished, but I want to show you sometimes the way we look at data sometimes gives you more information. If you look at the chart to the left, when you look at this chart, we only had 7th grade CCMS that was above the state average in our ELA. Some were very close, but they were the main one, and this is developing, proficient, distinguished. Well, we always want to strive towards proficient and higher. So if you look at the second chart, there are 4 grades that are above the state average in proficient and distinguished. And what that means is while we're moving more of our developing up to our proficient. When you look at that higher proficient level, we had more above the state. Where the state compared to proficient and distinguished, we had 4 grade levels. We had 4th grade MDE, 5th grade GMS, 6th grades, and 7th that scored above the state when you looked at just the proficient and the distinguished. I just wanted to point that out because we did have some improvement there. Okay, this is our reading and vocabulary at grade level. And in this, for the past few years, we have not had anyone. When we first applied for the L4GA grant, we didn't have anyone who was above the state average, at or above. And this year, Clear Creek, 7th grade, was above the average. And we are showing improvement. Sometimes we have a little dip, but we overall are showing improvement in our reading and vocabulary at grade level or above. One thing I wanted to point out, while we're working on our literacy, we're so excited about our math scores. I want to tell you, literacy does continue to be an area of concern and focus, but we're really excited at some of the initiatives we've implemented that we think are going to improve student achievement in literacy. We've purchased a new phonics program for grades K2. We're working on increasing student time in text through a balanced literacy approach. We've provided training in guided reading and leveling with our teachers. Our academic coaches at the 3 elementary schools and our middle school have been instrumental in providing training and supporting teachers with these new initiatives. And for our struggling readers, it's been very successful at GMS and CCMS. We were using rewards, and that's being brought down to grades 3 and 4. So we have some plans in place to improve student achievement in literacy. I just wanted to point that out. We have a consultant, Betsy Sheep, through GLRS, who's going to be working with our teachers. And then at Clear Creek in the high school, we have purchased a well-known intervention program, Read 180 and System 44, that's for our most at-risk students. And last year, Clear Creek established, and I think that contributes to their success, they established an extended learning time. It's called WIN. WIN. And they base their groups based on their math data. They have an extended learning time in math and ELA, and they have really focused on trying to improve student achievement. Okay, when you look at our science and social studies, I've already mentioned that with the passing of Senate Bill 363, which reduced the number of state tests that a student must take. For the past 3 years, only 5th and 8th grade students take the science and social studies end of grade milestones. And both 5th and 8th grade students scored above the state average in science, and 8th grade scored above the state average in social studies. And 5th grade was really close. 77% of the state level was at 78. Okay, these are end of course results. On the left, you see the high school, and on the right, you see Clear Creek Middle School. Now, these are their advanced, gifted and advanced content students. And we've been offering Algebra 1 for several years at the middle school level with 8th graders taking Algebra 1, but this past year was the first year that we have added 9th grade lit and physical science. So we are offering 3 EOCs to our 8th grade students. And so we're really excited, and they did very well on our EOCs. At the high school level, the end of course assessments are in 8 courses. There's 2 in ELA, it's 9th grade lit and American lit. And then in math, it's Algebra 1 and geometry. And the 2 sciences are biology and physical science, and the 2 social studies are U.S. history and economics. And when you're looking at the 2019 end of course results at GHS, 2 content areas had a higher percentages of students scoring in levels 2 through 4 than the state. It was physical science and economics. It's important to note the trend in some of our scores. When you look at where we're going, if you look from 2015 to 2019 in our 9th grade lit percentages, we have grown from 2015 to 2019 33.1%, from 52.99 to 85.88. In U.S. History, the percentages have gone up 36.58% from 36.96 to 73.54. And economic percentages have gone up 35.49% from 48.99 to 84.48. And we exceeded the state average in economics in 2019. In the past year, our physical science scores have gone up just from 2018. Our physical science scores went up 13.97%, from 70.72 to 84.69. And I was just talking to Ms. Bowden, we think CCRPI is going to be, we're really excited to get those results back this year. A lot of good things going on. We're not ignoring that we had a dip in both of our math content areas and in biology. But with the math scores going up, it was the very first slide I showed you, the math scores going up in grades 3 through 8. We are sending students up to the high school with a stronger foundation and proficiency to do the rigorous math, such as Algebra 1 and geometry in high school. Ms. Foley has arranged a schedule to offer a lot of support for 9th grade lit and Algebra 1. These students take a year long. The high school's on a block schedule, and usually students have 1 semester to master content. And the way she's arranged the schedule in the fall, they take a support or a class, and they go ahead and start the standards for 9th grade lit and Algebra 1, but they have a full year to master the content rather than just a semester. So she has built that in, and I think that's been very successful with the students. And also, as I mentioned earlier, we have Read 180 and System 44 in place for these 9th grade students and some 10th grade students, and we're showing success with those programs. So we know when we look at these end of grade and EOCs, we know we still have a lot of work to do, and we know we need to focus on certain areas, but our administrators and academic coaches and teachers are working very hard to improve student achievement, and we want to celebrate the progress we're making. So, do you have any questions? Thank you.
The next area of our strategic plan is parent community engagement, and I've asked Ms. Lindy Patterson, our Director of State and Federal Programs, to share with you about our beginning of the year parent community engagement.
I'd like to take a few moments to highlight some of the recent community involvement activities and initiatives that we've had. And I have lots of pictures to share with you. So we began our back-to-school celebration with a breakfast. And teachers were able to choose biscuits from 4 of our local restaurants, Mr. P's, El Burrito, Double L, and the Chili Dog. And this event was sponsored by Bank OZK. breakfast, our educators were greeted by representatives from Keep Gilmer Beautiful, Bank, OZK, ETC, and Kids First. And the teachers received various gifts and information from our community partners. Then we went into the auditorium and we had a welcome back address from Dr. Downs. And a pep rally, first we had a pep rally from our Gilmer High School student athletes and band members. And then we had an address from Dr. Downs, and we had a motivational speaker from the Georgia Department of Education, Joey Hector. And then the part that everyone went for, we had our door prizes from the Gilmer Chamber, and the chamber organized and gifted prizes from many businesses, organizations, and individuals. And employees received gift cards and baskets and supplies, just to name a few. In addition to the Great Chamber Door Prize giveaway, the Chamber also gifted each of the district's facilities with snacks. And they participated as volunteers in our open houses. Another continued initiative that I would like to mention is the Gilmer Optimist Step the Bus campaign. And this project helps our students, by giving they give us lots of school supplies. And you can see on the top pictures that we're working very hard, or Emily's working very hard to organize that, so our counselors will have a great
Those
place.
Larry walkers that are right next to our school social worker, so that those supplies can be given out through our counselors to students who need school supplies.
And I'm going to close with information about our annual Chick-fil-A Bash, and that is this Thursday night. And you'll see on the right-hand side, there's lots of businesses and organizations in the county that work with Chick-fil-A that night. And this is the time that our students get to dump their principals to the
What about the superintendent?
I'm not sure about that.
The kids don't, I don't think I would be quite as popular.
But the teacher do.
They might. I don't think a lot of it
Any questions about that? We are very appreciative of all that community does for us. And when I was putting this together, I started looking through Facebook and the newspaper, and the list goes on of the different organizations that support schools. Questions?
All right, you might as well stay on this. So we've got, under high performing culture and workforce, I had asked these two ladies to begin an induction program for our teachers that are new to our district. And so I've asked them tonight to share with you the plan for that program.
This is one of the initiatives that I'm most excited about this year. And so Lottie and I are working on this induction program, and the intent of this program is to retain our quality teachers.
Lindsay and I began planning for this year by attending a state induction training in Macon last May.
And before we got back to LJ, we already had a schedule of the people we would like to bring in to speak to our teachers, some of our instruction strategies that we need to share, and some of the events we wanted to host.
On July 31st, Mr. Stewart Sheriff organized the new teacher orientation, and the new teachers were welcomed by Dr. Downs and were introduced to the directors and all building administrators. They had a full morning learning about insurance, benefits, and were issued their new ID badges. This is also when Lindsay and I introduced ourselves and explained to them that they would be participating in the induction program this year.
For our second session, Lottie and I invited 11 of our veteran teachers to serve as expert teacher panelists for our new teachers. And the panelists answered questions related to classroom management, teaching styles, and the importance of relationships. And after learning from the panelists, the teachers engaged in a team building activity where they got to learn more about each other. And each month, we were hoping to give them an instructional strategy that they could go back and replicate in their classroom the next day if they chose to do so. So that's what they did that day. And I ended up calling every principal to tell them how proud that we should be of our teachers, because they gave some phenomenal answers. It was wonderful.
Okay, you can see up here what we have planned for the sessions. We've we've already had our first two. New teacher orientation was one, and then we met with them. On the third session, we're gonna have Susan Barrow and Katrina Kingston come and talk to them about the PBIS, positive behavior and supports. Session 4 will be CRAZE training, which CRAZE stands for the Civilian Response to Active Shooter Events. Session 5, our district social worker, Amy Bradshaw, is gonna come and speak. And session 6, I've talked to Lee Colburn, and she is going to come and speak to our participants about wraparound services. She's a leader in the field about wraparound services. She's working with our high school, yes. We're very happy to have her.
The last 4 sessions, for session 7, we have Attorney Matthew Pence is going to come and speak on the code of ethics. And then session 8 is for Dr. Downs, who's going to get to entertain our new teachers, and they can ask her questions. Session 9, we have left open, and we've asked the new teachers to come up with something that we've not covered that they want to learn about. And so that was their homework this last session, was you send us something that you want to know more about. And then our session 10 will be a reception for our new teachers and our mentors, and I'll talk about the mentors in just a minute.
We're also giving our participants some resources to assist new teachers, and then this program is not for teachers who are brand new, it's teachers who are new to our district. Maybe they taught in other districts, but we're trying to help them build their professional library, and we only gave them a few books this time because we know they're so overwhelmed with the first of the year, and we're going to give them to them over the next few sessions, and just try to help them in building their professional library, some professional resources.
In addition to the induction program, our new teachers have also been assigned a mentor. And although that part is not new, we've done teacher mentors for a long time, we have streamlined it a little bit and given the mentoring teachers guidance on and templates they can use so that we can have a more organized program there. And both our new teachers who participate in the induction program and our mentors are awarded stipends from Title II. That is something that we do have a great initiative in retaining the teachers that we hire. Do you have any questions?
I do.
Okay.
Even though we vote on these throughout, especially in the last few months, or how many new teachers did we have?
There's around
Over 30.
How many new teachers this year? It was 30,
We had a total of 42 employees.
42.
42 employees, but like 30 teachers, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It was a room full. We had a meeting the other day, it was a room full.
All right, next under operational effectiveness, I'll ask Mr. Sheriff to give you an update on the construction. We're finishing up quite a few projects here at the beginning of the year.
Yes. Not be quick because you guys saw most of this. So, I talked about Clear Creek addition there and Mountain View, they're done. GHS Phase 2 is complete. They're working on the punch list this time. Mechanical and electrical engineers came in last week, so they have a punch list they're actively working on to complete in the next month. Clear Creek Elementary School, the planning phase is in full swing. We've already met with the architect twice. The plan is still for him to get his documents to the CM by December. The CM will then bid out in January and look to start construction on March 1st, or no later than March 1st. Old Board of Education office and annex are now gone. You saw it as we drove by. They've completed taking the basement out as well. They'll put that in the third, probably starting next week. 3 portables and trailers at old GMS on the side over there. They will also be raised. They'll be removed probably starting next week. Same company that did the other. Parking lot at Mountain View Elementary softball field, rather for the softball field is complete. We will be adding posts at the lower end, as you see when it goes, falls off quite steeply. So we're actually going to concrete post in and not just put a fence up so to prevent anybody from going off that. And then the Larry Walker Education Center is continuing to take shape. Some college and career academy classes have already moved down there. MEC will be moving there soon. Student support services are already in place there, and the Professional Learning Center and the Old Media Center is also something in the planning process as well. So, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda are policies for first reading, and these are policies that are part of our consistent revision process. They'll be posted on our website for public review and comment before a second reading at our work session in September. Subject to feedback and public deliberations, these will be voted on at our regular session in September. And that's policy IKD, school ceremonies and observances, policy JG, policy GG, infectious diseases, policy JGI, child abuse or neglect, policy JGJA, suicide prevention, and policy JR, student records. Next is our policies for second reading. They've been posted on our district website since our work session in June and submitted to GSBA Legal Counsel for review. We received no public feedback, but we have one recommendation from GSBA Legal Counsel, and that is to policy DJED, and that's purchasing bid and quotations. And they just asked that we clarify in the table in the cell with $100,000 to take off the competitive bid process, because that's redundant to the law. The law is a school system must bid if it's over 100,000. So that's the only recommendation. On Thursday, I'll recommend that these policies be approved without one recommended change. So that brings us down to purchasing policy, expenditures, and approvals. And there's quite a list this month because as we closed out fiscal year 19, there were quite a few purchases that came across at the very end. The only one that we discussed this morning that you might notice was to Ronnie Thompson. That is not a second maintenance truck. That is the maintenance truck that was on the list earlier. It was just a carried over across fiscal year, so we had to put it on there.
Question.
Yes, sir. The L4GA grant has purchased a lot here lately.
Yes, we have.
I noticed our RISA, after membership dues is $17,000 something. Are we getting $17,000 worth of? No comment here because they will come.
Our RISA services have greatly improved in the years that I have been here. Our RISA director is really bringing a lot of services to our schools, and when we've asked for things, they have arranged it. Our RISA is very limited in that it only has 5 member districts. When we compare to like a Pioneer RISA with 18 districts, and some of the Metro RISA, with larger districts with higher FTEs, we really can't compare to that, but for where we were 4 years ago, there's no comparison, so I'm very pleased with that.
Where are the book rooms?
Okay, would you like to speak to that?
Our book rooms, we're so excited. We're increasing time in tech, so that elementary principals can talk about it too, and Katrina. But we are purchasing material so that for the guided reading groups, we level the children, put them on the level that they need to be, and there's sets of, according to their lexile, with sets of 6. And the teachers can go, and we have purchased these sets of books that also have an instructional card, and they work with the students during the guided reading segment and it progresses them through the levels. And so we're increasing the students, and it's true text, it's authentic text, and it's stories, and it's to move these children and give them more time in text too, and to improve their fluency and comprehension.
Right, if you think back to the day of everybody had the same reader book, it didn't matter, back in the day, there were students that were non-readers and there were students who were rock star readers, and everybody read out of that same book. And so it kind of hit the middle of that grade level. Now we're able to use MAP to determine our students' lexile level, and we're able to group them, and then everybody's able to read in a book that meets their lexile. So in order to do that and have enough text for the teachers to use the materials to go with it, that's what that is.
Because they're progressing them through the levels.
Right.
And it's at their instructional level. So your child will be placed in a group that's more at their instructional level, and we can progress them through.
It's good use of the L4GA.
Yes.
Because we will have that long after the day that the L4GA is no longer available to us.
Yes.
Coaching workshop, that is L4GA, that is reading, that's training our staff members to teach the Wilson reading program, correct?
That's the new phonics program.
That's the new phonics program. It's not. No, it's not. It is all academic. And in order for us to purchase it with that L4 grant, it has to be vetted and proven with research to be effective.
And the Read 180 and System 44, just in case you're looking at that, we did a 2-year renewal while we had funds. So it's rather pricey, but we wanted them to have it for 2 years for sure. And then renewals after that is much cheaper, because we have to train the teachers. They become experts in this program.
Ms. Waters?
What do you think of this motion?
Good, good.
For clarification, we really don't have pina colada flavor.
But there's
The
nothing.
flavor is called Cocoa Breeze.
Oh, that's what it's called.
It's simpler in flavor, but it is non-alcoholic.
Absolutely.
I don't want to use it in favor that we're selling pina coladas.
No,
No,
it's
it's not going to be listed as pina One of the other really popular flavors is the Mocha Breeze, and they love it. It's sweet coffee, and it's iced sweet coffee, and they do sold out of that. Anyway, this is helping us to supplement our school nutrition funds, which you see. The good news is, if you look at the revenues for the year over the expenditures, we actually made money, which was hard to do, but we did. And I prepared y'all and told you that in June and July, we will not have a profitable, they will not be profitable months. But it's not bad. We only had expenditures over revenues of $85,855. Notice how little we spent on food, $4,679. And it's not because we didn't feed them. If you look at the net worth, you will see that it decreased by $87,790, which was food that we had in inventory that we used for our seamless summer program. So had we not used that inventory, we could have expected our food purchases to be more like $85,000. So
You did a fantastic job.
without raising milk prices and all, we're doing very well. And I will give you on next month's report an update on how we're doing on participation, but it is definitely increasing this year, especially breakfast. We have seen a dramatic increase in breakfast participation at Clear Creek Middle, especially they're serving more breakfast than they are lunches, which is
That's
quite a
amazing.
feat. And so is Mountain View currently. They're serving more breakfast. Not that we're not serving lots of lunches, but the breakfast program at Grafton Valley is definitely positive and very beneficial for the children.
What's been the response to the salad bar and the sandwich bar? By the way, the sandwiches are delicious.
Oh, good, I'm glad you like it. It's positive. The children really, the students, I should say, really don't know they're there. So I did ask for assistance from our CTAE, what's he called, film? What's his title? Teacher.
ABT, audiovisual tech.
Okay, to do a video production for us, to explain to the students that we've got a salad bar, to customize your own salad bar and your subs. And I think that's gonna be aired tomorrow, Wednesday, trying to, the sub sandwiches, yeah. We are gonna change buns as soon as, because they're gonna be bigger. These were proof and bake, and I was a little bit disappointed because I thought they were kind of small. So we're gonna start using those at the elementary level, and we're buying, it's a ready-made bun, but it's bigger. And so they can get more on them. And we're gonna start serving a bag of chips with the sub sandwiches. So I'm sure that's really going to make those two bars even run. Yeah, we're seeing some about that one. Any other questions? Come eat with us at our farmer. Thank you.
Now we have our chief financial officer, Ms. Trina Taylor, to give our financial update. morning. You have the financial summary for June, which is 12 months, or 100% of the year complete. This is the preliminary. We will do the final later in September. We hope it's open for up to 90 days to get all the receivables and payables ready. Our tax collections and some collections from the BOE will still come in. But currently, we have our total revenues for the year-to-date period of $40,526,000, and that's 99.77% of our budgeted revenue. Our tax revenue is $18,415,000, and that's 100.52% of our budgeted tax revenue. Expenditures, $43,534,000, and that's 99.91% of our budgeted expenditures. That leaves us with expenditures over revenue for the year of $3,007,000, and a fund balance of $17,864,000. And comparing that to what we had budgeted of $17,916,000, we should be rather close when we continue to collect the rest of our tax revenue.
So already you're 0.5% over in collection of local property tax, right? What you said, so.
Well, local tax revenues includes property taxes as well as our title ad valorem. So our actual title ad valorem is what has went over 100% this year. The boost in the economy has, the tax revenue is still a little below. The current year's maybe about 97% plus we collect some of the back year, but we're a little under 100% on just the property taxes.
Yeah, they come to you more money, but.
But I will give a final report after we close out for the year. We have to close out, file a report, and upload to the DOE by the end of September. So the superintendent will have to sign off on that. Our eSPLOS expenditures today, we have $14,446,000. For the month, we have $1,081,000. $1,060,000 was the GHS Phase 2 project, and $21,000 was some of our technology. In our local capital projects, we had $468,000 expended during the month, and that was for Clear Creek Middle School and Mountain View Addition. For our eSPLOS collections today, we're at $15,769,000. For the month, $412,675, an increase over the previous month of $5,015, and a change from last year of $22,668 last year. So we're still continuing. Yeah, we're seeing growth. The last 3 years has probably no substantial amount of growth each year. So we are averaging, for the eSPLOS for the 2019, we're averaging $379,000 a month. 2018 was $370,000 a month. 2017, $341,000 a month. 2016, $325,000 a month. So you can see we are seeing quite a bit of growth in the average. More spending locally. Next, we have the report on our school activity accounts for the June. So this is for the 12-month period. And a consolidated total gives us a beginning balance in all schools, $436,885. We have total receipts or revenues of $932,050 and disbursements of $964,674, leaving the ending fund balance of $404,262. So we have the attachments there by school.
like I said, it's mostly looking up what they tell us they're going to give us and reporting it back to them, and what we're gonna put with it as local match.
Every number on that sheet is given to us by the state, with the exception of the local fund. The top amount is called CTE extended day, and that is just the difference that we have to pay for the teachers to do like